Okay, so hello for the continuation of the demonstration of our demo application for customer and product. So just a quick overview with what we have finished with the part one. So now we are on the part two. So in the part one, we were able to have an execution in our, we're able to create the execution in our main class. So in the main class, this is supposed to be the summary of all actions that we will be doing for the rest of the application. So this is the base point in which we are going to design our program in a way nga ma-display na to ang tanang action, and all this action nga atong gi-display diri sa main will be created as separate class for an appropriate segregation. So say for example, one example we have done in part 1, we create a customer class for this customer action in which we just have to refer to the customer class and creating a specific method to execute all the actions from adding a customer, viewing a customer, updating and deleting a customer record for our independent data, which we have somehow designed from. So karon I'll just have to at this point I'll just have to like open the current database that I'm working with, which is the database is mic. I'll just remove the database for now, the other one. But in this case, I have created the first table, which is the table customer, that contains columns such as first name, last name, the customer ID, the email, and the status. Given that the current ID or the customer ID is a primary key and that's auto incremented. And I've somehow insert from the last session two customers. So now we're gonna move forward in adding a product for this action in the main for product transaction. One thing that I'll be doing first is again adding another class. So that's I will name this as product class. And so not to make this longer, we're just going to create a method here, public void product transaction. Okay, and we're gonna have, in my case, I'll just have to clean up some comments by the way, and yeah, I'll just have to copy the code for execution from customer. And besides, we can just copy this one para lang dali na lang ang pag-code and dili na kayo siya hassle. So from scanner to I think here, I'll just have to copy that under the while response and back to the product and just insert that inside. Import the scanner class. And then again, we'll have to remove some parts. In this case, since I'm working in the product class, then customer is not applicable anymore in here, in this part. So this is PR for product. And then we're gonna call product. And then I'll just have to remove this for a bit or for a while because wala pa man ni nato nabuhatan og classes. We weren't able to create classes yet for this actions. So again, that's add customer. Then I'm just gonna have to change this into add product, view product. This is the product panel. Delete in. Yeah. So basically, that's just the five major actions that I'm going to work with. So for now, and then now since this is an error, I don't know why. I think this is Subra. No, because the pair of that is Kani and then the Paris Ani is Kato. Okay, so yeah, sakto na. And save. Just make sure nga na-pair lang ninyo tarong. And then now we're gonna have to create an action for add product. But then again, we cannot add product without first creating our product table. So in this part, I'll be creating a table for product, and I will name this as TBL product. And yeah, I'm gonna add my first column, which is the PID. That's integer. Again, this is a primary key since this is a new table, an independent table, auto incremented, and then okay. Now I'm gonna add another P, the product name. This is text, by the way, and that has 50 characters. Another one is I'm gonna add a P. I don't know what existing data should I be using. But for now, let's just say I'm gonna add a product price. That's what numeric, since it's a number. If it's numeric, then you don't have to like have more size. You can just skip the size. P price. We're gonna need the stocks of this product. Product stocks. This is also numeric. Yun, since another price, nice stocks. Or let's say this is quantity. Or let's just use stocks for now. Yeah, since we're working with a product again, I'm gonna add p stocks, and the last one is I'm gonna add that's p status, the status of the product. Stacks and let's say 20. Yeah, and do not forget to always save your table. Now it's saved as TBL product. Now we're gonna have to execute the add product, which is just basically creating another action for adding a product. Which in this case we're going to ask the user to input the number. Let's use scanner sc is equals to new scanner. Okay, and that's system.in. And now we're gonna have to we're gonna have to ask the user to input the product name. Again, the ID is auto incremented, so dili na siya apilon. Let's start with the product name. We're gonna use the sc or int or string p name is equals to sc dot next. And I think I'll just have to copy this one para dili na kayo taas atong process. And then product name. What was the other requirement? The product price, stocks and status. Product price, the product stocks, and the product status. Provided that we're gonna change this into int. No, that's double. Or yeah, I'll be using double for this one. Price. This one is stocks. This is also double. Then I'm gonna use stocks. Since this is double, this is supposed to be next double. This two. And the last one is the p stat or status. And yeah, we're gonna have to create a query since we're going to here is the concept. In our config, in the config, we're gonna have to use the add record. We're gonna recycle this one, which is gigamit naman sa ninato sa customer. So we're gonna use that one. That's the purpose of having a config, is to be able to reuse that one for implementation in our code. So let's start with inserting this record. Insert into, since I've created a new table which is named as TBL product. Insert into TBL product, then you're gonna have to call data one by one from PID to PName, PID, the PName, the P price, the P stocks, and the P status, providing that the values are actually the values we're gonna have to set as parameters. Since that's like again, ID is not included since it's an auto increment value. So we start with p name, p price, p stock, and p status. So that's four parameters required. Then terminator. And then since we're gonna use the config add record, we're gonna have to call the config class, which is by creating an object named conf. Now, since we already have conf, we're going to use conf that add record. So the query is coming from the query that we just wrote. And then the values are the number of parameters that is being needed for these parameters. So we're going to have to assign p name for the product name and the rest of the record for the rest of the input right here. So we're going to work with p name, the price, the stocks. I misspelled stocks. We use stocks here. And the last one is the p stat. Okay, and yeah, I think that's gonna work well. If if I didn't miss anything, that's gonna work properly. But let's see how it goes yet for now. So before we can actually use this one, we have to call this as an action in add product. So here we're gonna have to call, since I've changed the PR or the CS for the customer kanina, we're gonna use PR for this one. PR that add product, and then let's try and test this one. But yeah, when I run this, I know this is not gonna go to product since the case 2 in the main class is not declared yet. So we're gonna have to declare the case 2. So in this manner, we're gonna have to create another break. And here is our code for calling the product and creating an object for this one. The PR, which is our object for new instantiation product. And using PR that add, no, PR that was not add product, that was supposed to be P transaction. And then when we run that, when we choose product, then we're gonna go to the product panel and we can now test to add a product. Let's say candies, or that's so specific or that's so general. Let's say corn beef or star corn beef. Say product one, test product. Now the price is 20, the stocks is 50, and it's available for the moment. Record added successfully, yes. And we're gonna have to work with a view so we can see if the product has been added. But to double check na lang sa dire, you can see that we have already added the product in our database. So now we're gonna work with, since we've already done, we can work with the view. So right here, we're gonna have to add another method named view product. So in this case, public void. We can reuse something that we already have declared in the, customer. Kuha lang to, balik na sa product, and then paste na lang to dire. And you have to change the query. Do not forget about the query since we're changing or we're selecting a different table, which in this case, we're gonna have to call the customer. No, the table product, which is just right here, the table, select all from table product. Provide that you have to change the header. Since the header is name, price, tax, and status, we can say product ID, product name, product price, product stocks, and the status. And take note that the columns is the important. It should exactly be the same as what we have declared here. In this case, PID, PName, starting from PID to PName to PPrice, PStocks, and the PStatus. Okay, given that you don't have to change as long as you call conf as a new configuration or instantiation of the config class. Then the view records is just exactly coming from the config, which is right here. The view records, we're just using this one for the product, but in this time we're selecting product, and now you're gonna have to call that pr that view product. Now we can use this one after we add the product to view the product. So when we run, let's say we're gonna add a product, another product. Let's say test2. Product is 20. The stock is 20, and this is also available. So now we can see that there are two products that are already in the database. So let us see again the data for the product. Just refresh, I think, and then you can see that there are two products that are currently available. Okay, so now when I say no, the program's gonna go back to the main menu and we can exit with a program. Proceed, type yes to continue, and that's gonna close or that's gonna end the program. Now, since not a view, we're gonna work with update and delete product. So in this case, we can just, I think, copy coming from the customer and change na lang for the rest of the content. Since update is quite long, so tara kani, I'll add update first sa tong customer. Gikan na sa customer, ako rang gi-add diri sa product and then change this into update product and then enter ID to update, no? And then you have to check this one right here. By the way, I quite added this in last discussion. We can still reuse this one, provided that you have to change the query. Since now we're working with product, you have to change this to product ID, and that's coming from not table customer, but instead we're gonna change this into table product because it is the table we are currently working with. Okay, tara, table product where the PID is equals to the current ID input. So selected item doesn't exist, select product ID again. So when we run this one, no, not yet. We're gonna have the new product name. This one is, I'll change this into P name. This one is the product price. This is the product what uh, quantity, if I'm not mistaken. I know the product stocks. And the new here is the product status. I'll just have to change the variable name para dili kay siya confusing. Price, stocks, and retail lang status. Update table product. We're gonna update the table product. We're gonna use the table product right here. Set again. We're gonna have to call the current PID. No, we're not gonna update the ID, but we're gonna update the product name, the product price, the product stocks, and the product status. Where PID is equals to question mark. And if you notice, there are like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 parameters. Next is the P name. The first is the P name. We have the price. We have the stocks, status, and the last one is the ID. Okay, I think that's gonna work as soon as we're gonna call that first here. We're gonna view the product first, two of them for before and after. In here is pr.update product. So when we see and try to run the program, we're gonna go to product, tree, update a product, and we have to select a non-existing product. So selected ID doesn't exist. So nanatay sample validation. Enter product ID again, that is 1. Since the product is existing, so let's change the product name into test 1. We're gonna change the price into 50, and we're gonna change the stocks into 10, and this is also available. Same with the other product. As you can see, it has been updated. Okay, so now that's the update record. Now I just want to clean up some system ln. I don't really like having extra lines in the program. Okay, so I'll just have to do clean up yet. Enter ID to update our ln. Okay, so that's update. Now the last action here is we're gonna have to create another function, private, no, yeah, a method. This is delete product. So for this one, this is just quite easy. We're just gonna have to go to customer and yeah, the same action. We're gonna have to paste that one and enter ID to delete. Again, you're gonna have to change the query since we're working with, product. Gonna have to change this into table product ID, where product ID is equals to the parameters ID. Since this is a validation for a while, selected ID, select product ID. Again, for the loop. And yeah, just gonna go back to customer since I don't like really LN sa akong program. Okay, and then we're gonna have to add the action here for product for the deletion, which is the case 4. We can just copy this one from case 3 and change this to that delete product. Okay, so that's delete product. So when we run that, when we go to product, before number 4, that's delete product, the product will be displayed. If we're gonna select 5, the ID does not exist, but if we're gonna select 2, record deleted successfully pero wala siya na delete. Let me check if na delete pa gid siya sa database. Let's go to the data. Wala siya na delete, but ang customer ang na delete. Let's see the output. The current one, record deleted successfully pero wala siya na remove. So selected ID doesn't exist. Let's see. Select an ID you want to delete. Select PID from table product where PID is equals to the current ID we have selected. Selected ID doesn't exist. Select product ID. And then, okay, I've changed this. We have to change this into table product as well. And this is PID. And then we're going to run this one. We're going to go to products. Delete the product, that's number 4, and we're going to delete record number 2. Then the record deleted successfully. As you see, there's now one data sa ato table product. Okay? So that's the add, update, delete for this video. Okay, so yeah, this is just a run through, no, of update. So as for next video, I'm gonna have to, since we're done, if I'm gonna go back here, man ako sa product, I will be showing you how to work with the system implementation orders. And I'm gonna going to make this dynamic as much as possible. And for the last process is the reports. Okay, so again, thank you so much for the product. That's for the product implementation. I hope you get something and thank you so much. See you in the next video.